H-Town and welcome to the H-Town Horseshoe. On this special episode, we will be recapping our last 4 episodes, so stay tuned.
So first up, we have Bark. Come on now. So you remember City Council approved $315,000. Okay, for microchipping to make sure that our furry friends are protected as well as we can identify who they belong to.
Right.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and roll this clip.
So Michelle brought up earlier this $315,000 that was passed at City Council. Tell us about that. That's for microchipping. That's for more services. What does that money do for Bark?
Yeah, so that allows us to purchase microchips that we can provide through our low-cost wellness center. Mm-hmm. So I mentioned that earlier, but we provide routine vaccinations for owned pets of city residents.
Okay.
And microchipping is also a service that we provide. And it's only $15 to come do it at Bark. You can go and get it at your local vet, but this is a low-cost service we provide.
And if a person doesn't know what microchipping is, can you tell us what that is?
Yes. So a microchip basically is a indicator for us. We have basically a wand or kind of a thing we wave over. If your pet has a microchip, it's usually put in between the shoulder blades. It's a tiny little thing. It allows us to connect to a registration that's tied to the microchip, who the owner is or the company that it's registered under, and they have your contact information, your address. So that way, if a pet ever gets lost or separated from the owner, something like that, if it has a microchip, we can reunite it with its owner. Okay. Cats and dogs are required to be microchipped. It's part of a registration process. So if you do own a cat or dog, you should register it with the city. Mm-hmm. And as part of that registration, you're required to provide proof now of not only a rabies vaccine, but a microchip.
Okay.
So you don't have to get it at Bark. You can get your microchip at your local vet. But regardless where you get it, you do need to have it along with your rabies vaccine. Same kind of thing. You don't have to get it at Bark. You can do it at your local vet. But now, last January, that was unanimously approved by City Council. So when you register your pet, you get it microchipped. Because like you said, if our enforcement team encounters it in the field, we have those checks so we can wand the pet, find its microchip, take it back home. Never has to come to the shelter. Never has to take up a kennel, which is great for us in terms of capacity.
Now, we've been getting a lot of comments on social about how our parks need to be improved. So let's check out episode 2 where we talk about Mayor's 50/50 initiative.
In council, they call the 50/50 Parks Initiative a private-public partnership. Those are one of those buzzwords that go around in the city council meeting. So can you explain to us what are the benefits of this initiative?
Yep, so on October the 15th, 2019, Mayor Turner put out the challenge for the 50/50 Park program. And so we partnered with the Houston Parks Board, the Greater Houston Partnership, the Mayor's Office, the Houston Parks Department, and we went out into the community. We reached out to corporations. They could come in and do a 50/50 spending, budget, bringing money to the table. The City of Houston, we have limited resources. And so when we can do these public-private partnerships, we can leverage our dollars along with the public dollars and bring those in to create these 22 parks, which we're calling 50/50. So, a quote from the mayor: "Green space is vitally important. You cannot have a complete city without the green space and the parks to go right along with it." And so that's a direct quote from Mayor Turner. So that's what sums up what 50/50 is. It's bringing those vital green spaces to the community. And we know everything has a budget, has a dollar amount associated with it.
Right.
And so these public-private partnerships allow us to stretch those public dollars to reach into the community even deeper.
Now, if you would like to find out more about the 50/50 initiative or the unveilings of the future parks, you can check that out down below.
SB 147 has been a huge topic around City Hall. So let's start from the beginning.
Yep, and then let's check in on the recent updates.
SB 147! No SB 147!
So first, Mayor Turner and other elected officials gathered on the steps of City Hall to oppose SB 147. And then a month later, he followed up with a rally where he joined other elected officials and community members to oppose SB 147. Days after the rally, he did an interview with CNN to speak about why this bill is dangerous.
It's been a little while since I purchased a home, but obviously I have to say that I am Erica Hill. I have to provide that documentation. Someone would have to provide that documentation as well. Yeah.
Well, let me stop. But do you have to provide that documentation based on your race? Or do you have to provide that documentation based on, I say I'm Sylvester Turner, I must demonstrate that I'm Sylvester Turner. It has nothing to do with whether I'm black, white, brown, or what country I come from. This bill basically singles out a whole group of people and say, in order for you to purchase land, even though you have every right to in this country, you must demonstrate that you are not from, let's say, China or Iran or Russia. And I don't agree with their policies. Let's be very clear. So it's one thing to single out the government.
Sure.
It is another thing to single out individuals based on their nationality, their status, immigrants, green card holders, permanent residents, people who have every right to acquire land in this country. And let me add, in many cases, these are people who have fled these oppressive regimes.
Sure.
So the bill creates a very negative tone where we're already dealing with a lot of hate crimes in the United States already.
Let's find out the details of this bill from Bill and Alexa in a recent episode.
And I don't care where you come from or where you live, Senate Bill 147 is just downright wrong.
So, last month, Mayor Turner and other elected officials gathered on the steps of City Hall to oppose SB 147. Can you talk to me about what that bill is exactly and what you guys are doing at the Capitol about it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So first, thank you to Mayor Turner, Representative Wu, and everyone that joined us on the steps of City Hall, because that force, that joined power together really speaks to a collective voice of why this bill is bad. So let's dive into a little bit of the detail. So Senate Bill 147, in plain terms, would prohibit the purchase or acquisition of title to real property by certain foreign individuals or entities. So this means that neither government entities, companies, or citizens of China, Iran, North Korea, or Russia are able to purchase real estate here in Houston, Texas. And you can imagine that if a bill like that passed, it would greatly negatively impact the lives of so many Houstonians, like the hundreds of thousands of people of Chinese descent that live here in the greater Houston area.
Right. And Michelle, as a follow-up, the hearing was held on March the 2nd, 2023, and Mayor Turner submitted his testimony opposing SB 147 and 711. And in our most recent episode, we met with the director of DON, Department of Neighborhoods, and we discussed all 5 departments that fall under DON. DON is doing a lot of work.
They got a lot of divisions. You guys have 5 different offices that align with Mayor Turner's vision for our city, yes?
Yes.
So on this episode, we want to break those departments down.
Sure.
And first, we want to start with the Mayor's Office of Gang Prevention and Intervention. Can you tell us what that office does specifically for Houston?
So the Mayor's Office of Gang Prevention and Intervention deals specifically with youth and family services to keep kids out of gangs and off the streets. It is also providing wraparound services to kids who are looking to either come out of that particular lifestyle and actually change the trajectory of their lives. We also have a number of programs that we do with different schools and school districts that deal with gang prevention, but it also deals with simple issues like our Ladies' Choice program, where we actually work with young ladies in middle school and in high school to kind of help them, enhance what it means to be a young lady, to teach social skills and different things like that. When you've got this high grass, all kinds of things in that grass, you got rats, you got snakes, you got ants, you got pestilence, you got all that kind of stuff. And anybody living near that and around that, now you're starting to create an environment that is not safe for the people that are there.
Right.
So once we actually come out and we assess the situation and we see that there's a violation that meets Chapter 10, we're going to we'll actually placard the property, which is the yellow placard, but we also send notice, because that's the notice that we're required to give you by state law and city ordinance. Okay. We also follow up, same notice, in a letter. So you got 2 forms of notice. that you need to take care of this. On average, we try to give people up to 14 to 21 days to correct.
Okay.
If you've not corrected within that time, and sometimes it's longer, because we have so many, inspections that we have to do.
Right.
We have the initial inspection where we come out and we see if there are notifications, and we have what we call a checkback inspection. Our code enforcement officers are empowered to make decisions around extensions if that's what they, deem necessary.
Right.
Some people may need more time. They can give extensions, but we're not doing that in perpetuity.
Okay.
So we're not going to be giving you extensions from here until Jesus comes back. So the Office of New Americans and Immigrant Communities is a very special office because we work specifically with our refugee and immigrant community to help get them acclimated to the United States as well as to the city of Houston. Houston has the distinction of being the most diverse city in the nation. So we have a hugely diverse population here that we have to service. And so what this office does specifically, outside of, just getting them acclimated to the United States, we offer citizenship opportunities. We also work specifically with issues that affect our immigrant and refugee community. Right now, there's no secret that there is a lot going on from the previous administration regarding immigrant affairs. And so with Houston being the fourth and soon to be third largest city in the United States, a lot of the issues around immigration really do center, all eyes are on Texas, and more specifically all eyes are on Houston. So not only do we help assist with resources, but we also help assist with policy. So looking at policies that work, we have different cities and even different international bodies and countries that are looking at Houston and looking to our leadership in that department.
You guys actually have an office of neighborhood engagement. Yes. And so there is a neighborhood improvement matching grants, right?
Yes.
Can you talk to me about what that is and how people can apply for those?
Sure. So we have a matching grants program that we do every year, and really it gives communities an opportunity to do some of the aesthetic things that they want to do in their communities. So whether it's going to be signage, whether it's going to be, park benches, or some other type of community project that could be paid for to bring beautification and lend to neighborhood morale and pride. So we basically facilitate the paperwork for those opportunities.
Y'all are hard at work, and we thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you. So tell us about the Mayor's Office of Assistance. I know that it's heavily used in this city.
Yes.
But tell us about some special projects that you all have going on that people may not know.
Well, honestly, that varies because the Mayor's Assistance Office is the liaising arm of the department. So these are our community liaisons who work with citizens to help them solve problems.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us this week. We've gone through a lot of information in these past 4 episodes, but if you have any questions about any of the information, or if there's a city, department, or mayor's initiative you want more information about, drop it in the comments below. Until then, we'll catch you in the horseshoe.